Hey, this is Alex Merced, and you're listening to Podcasting and Vlogging School. On this podcast, we're going to learn the ins and outs of recording, distributing, marketing, and monetizing a podcast and or vlog. Beyond what you learn on this show, if you ever need help from Alex Merced to help you start your podcast or vlog, you can look into hiring him over there at mercedbranding.com. Enjoy the show. Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced, and you're listening to Podcasting and Vlogging School. And here I am. Now again, you can always find all sorts of cool resources over there at mercedbranding.com, such as a list of web hosts, a list of podcast hosts, old videos about podcasting from my previous podcast, and also my episodes of my marketing podcast, which you can use in helping marketing your show. But today what I want to talk about is mobile recording of your show. So there's, a lot of people will record their show using a desktop computer or a laptop. Now that oftentimes requires that basically you have to be at home. What if you're on the go? What if you're in a hotel and you're traveling? Are you going to be able to record a podcast episode? Sure. And you can actually do a really awesome podcast episode. And I'm going to give you a couple apps that I find super useful in doing so. Okay. The first app I used to use, what was it called? BossJock. Now, BossJock was an app that was designed to kind of simulate sort of like recording on a radio show where you have like the soundboard where you can play sound effects and video intro openers. The old BossJock app got retired. If you have it, great. I still use it on occasion. BossJock Jr., which is sort of the simpler version of the app, is still in existence. But someone came out with an app that's even better. I think it actually might even be from the people who did BossJock. And it's called Backpack. Now, Backpack is awesome. It's like BossJock on steroids, where you can create sort of as many little soundboards as you want and basically play them as you do. So basically, that's how I record this show. I open up my Backpack app, and then what you do is you just hit the record button. You click a button to play your intro music, and then when it's done, you hit the microphone, and then you record. Okay, so basically, you can do a lot of podcasting without having to do a lot of that post editing. Because oftentimes, where a lot of people end up using up a lot of time is they'll record a podcast, then they have to go load it up into their audio editing software. Like I'll use Adobe Audition. But people will use things like Pro Tools, FL Studio. There's all sorts of different, what's called a DAW, Direct Audio Workshop. And probably the simplest, freest one is Audigy, which a lot of people use. They'll do that on their desktop. And then what they have to do is they'll have to, cut out the little piece of silence in the beginning and the back, and then add their intro and outros, which is something you should do when you can. So when you have the time to sit down and really kind of do a full edit, especially if you're doing an interview, you're going to want to make sure you do take some time to edit down the interview, because interviews are always very rough. There's a lot of sometimes interruptions and whatnot that you're going to have to edit out. So for most interviews, that's going to be the case. Unless you're interviewing someone in person, you can probably get a much better result, and you can just record it from your phone. But when you're doing solo episodes like this, Backpack is awesome because I can just play the intro. I can have all my sound effects, anything that I want to play during the show queued up in the soundboard, and just play it and do it in a very live, seamless way, getting a really good feel, and pretty much have an episode that's ready to go, ready to send out the minute it goes out there. And then you can easily just send it out and email the podcast yourself, or if you upload it to your phone, you can just quickly save it in your phone's files and upload it to wherever your podcast is hosted. So Backpack is amazing. But the other app I highly recommend to have on your phone is Voice Recorder Pro 7. And again, I have both these apps on an iPhone. I'm an iPhone user. So whether these apps are available or not on Android, I'm unsure of. There's probably at least an equivalent app. But Voice Recorder Pro 7, sometimes I'll record, if I'm not planning to put in like an opener or intro music or anything, I'll record in Voice Recorder Pro 7 to save myself a step. It's a really quality app. You can actually do some minor editing in Voice Recorder Pro 7 if you want to cut some stuff out. And you can do some other really cool little things. But the main reason I use Voice Recorder Pro 7 is that you're able to assign a photo to the audio recording and generate a video file. And the benefit of generating the video file is that this allows you to increase the distribution of your audio recording. Because now I can upload that video to YouTube, I can upload it to a Facebook page, I can upload it. For some reason, the video files that it generates tend to not upload successfully to Instagram if you're using Instagram TV. So that's a thing. But basically, anywhere I can upload a video, I can upload that video. So usually what I'll do is I'll record my podcast, I'll send it over to Voice Recorder Pro 7, generate a video file from it using basically a cool picture, and then upload it to YouTube, upload it to Facebook. So that way people who just really kind of watch stuff on Facebook, because here's the thing, you can share a link to your podcast on Facebook. Problem is, when you share links, they don't necessarily get as much play as when you actually upload content directly to Facebook, because Facebook's algorithm and how it cycles what is shown in front of people. If you want to maximize that, not only do you want to share content that is on Facebook, but you want to post it via Facebook. So one mistake it's more of a thing where I find the benefit weighs the cost, because I have so many Facebook pages, is I'll post through Hootsuite. But when I post through Hootsuite or Hootsuite, Facebook does kind of penalize you and it won't put it in front of many people as I would have if I had just posted directly from a Facebook app. So it does tell how you schedule your content, and its algorithm will take that into consideration on whether it shows it to people who like your Facebook page. So basically what I'll do is I'll upload it to my Facebook page. Because I have so many Facebook pages, it's just practically easier for me to use Hootsuite. But if you only have one Facebook page, then it's just share directly to the Facebook page. And then I share the Facebook post to my personal profile and in groups that are relevant, and it helps. And then of course in my podcast, I'm always reminding people to go subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher, and you can build up your actual feed interviews. But at the same time, you're building up other metrics that are useful, such as video views on Facebook, your likes on Facebook, same thing on YouTube, your subscribers on YouTube, and that can also feed into other video content that's not part of your podcast. So that's why I like Video Recorder Pro 7. It allows me to create video content for my YouTube channel and my Facebook page out of my podcast. So that way I can take each piece of content, give it the maximum reach with managing my time well, because it really doesn't take me that long to do it using these apps. It's pretty straightforward. So those are the two main apps as far as recording audio. Okay, I'll do a separate discussion on mobile apps for editing video, because video, there's a lot of, nowadays I do all my video work through my phone. So I'll sit there, I got a little mini smartphone tripod, but I'll do a separate video on that, or separate podcast episode on that. So those are the two apps I would really do if you want to do recording of your podcast on your phone, outside of just, your typical setup, which is doing interviews via Skype, using MP3 Skype recorder. Now I think Skype actually has call recording built into it finally. But basically recording your calls, editing it down in Audigy, and then adding your intros and outros to it, and then uploading it to your podcast host. That's sort of the typical route. And of course, there's the whole issue of your equipment, like what microphones. So you have the typical microphones, such as the Blue Yeti, which I think is the vast majority of people use. But as long as you have some sort of microphone headset type thing, or a headset and a microphone combination, you're going to get a better recording out of any computer. Now, always the tricky thing with microphones is on the mobile phone, because if you're using a much more recent version of iPhone, it's tough finding a microphone that's compatible and works well with an iPhone, because there's no headphone jack. So you can buy adapters. The problem is that oftentimes it won't capture so you need to actually find a microphone that actually has a lightning jack, and sometimes there's stuff you gotta configure. So that part is so I generally do use the stock microphone on the iPhone, in this case the iPhone XS Max. So right now, I think the quality on the newest, this is the newest iPhone, is pretty good and acceptable. But when you record on your desktop with a better microphone, and you get yourself a better result. But you try to take as much of this into consideration as possible. So my name is Alex Merced. You're listening to Podcasting and Blogging School. I'll talk to you guys later on. Have a great day and enjoy. If you've been enjoying this content by Merced Branding, head over to mercedbranding.com and check out the offers page, where you'll just find great offers from some of our sponsors, such as Amazon's Audible, Bluehost, and NordVPN. Check out mercedbranding.com.